The Xiaomi Mi 10 Pro is Xiaomi's first attempt at just building a flagship phone, taking the shackles off the price and giving us a set of features that we would want to find in a real flagship. Xiaomi saw the success that OnePlus have had moving their brand from a flagship killer into a flagship brand. They're trying to do the same, so is this phone worthy of the Pro naming? First off, you have the Snapdragon 865, so this is the best processor. You're not going to find a better processor in the Android world. That box therefore has been ticked, and in terms of screen hardware, Xiaomi say this is one of the most color accurate screens in a smartphone. Better than the OnePlus 7 Pro, better than the iPhone according to Xiaomi, and an upgrade over the normal Mi 10, but for me, side by side, I could not tell you the difference between the Mi 10 and the Mi 10 Pro screen. That's just my eyes though, a very good looking screen all around. The 90 Hz refresh rate is also fantastic and it does improve the experience. This spec is beaten by those real flagship phones though, like the S20 phones, the OnePlus 8 Pro, and I'm sure a lot of phones coming out towards the end of the year will be having a 120 Hz refresh rate display. To call yourself a flagship phone, you need really good and unique propositions in terms of the camera functionality. So you've got this 108 megapixel image sensor plus the Snapdragon 865, and overall the results are very good. There are definitely some areas where it still struggles though. 4K video is so clear and the stabilization is one of the best I've seen. The video just looks really good, so crisp. However, the colors for me are just a little bit too much. They're very saturated. Oranges, yellows and reds seem way too pumped up. The dynamic range and the use of HDR for video though is also really good, amongst the best I've seen. Yes, the colors for me anyway, personally for my taste, are a little bit of an issue. When I dove into the camera app and the gallery, I found that you could actually edit pretty much everything about the video that you just took in those settings. You can change the saturation, the contrast, the colors, the brightness, pretty much everything that you would want to change. You can actually change it for both photo and video. You can't really ask fairer than that. If you do want to change the colors and the contrast, just go in and edit it after you film the video. Compared to what we were looking at with the Mi 9 a year ago, Xiaomi have taken a huge leap forward in the quality of both photo and video, and it's pretty much thanks to that 108 megapixel camera sensor. 108 megapixel mode gives you so many options. It is really useful, and I think the images you get from it are fantastic. One issue in that mode though is that you cannot use HDR modes in high megapixel mode. That's something you can do on Samsung's 108 megapixel camera sensor. The 27 megapixel images off the normal photo mode though can use HDR, and for a smartphone that is still a very high resolution, so you can do a lot with the image after you've taken it. Whether you like the dynamic range, the contrast and the colors is of course up to you, but you can edit these after you take the images. And there are also other options out there. For example, a lot of people I know import Gcam to use it on Xiaomi phones. You may or may not want to do that. Zooming in and out for video is also a little bit of an issue, especially compared to those real expensive flagship phones. On the S20 range on iPhones, you can switch between the cameras really easily whilst you're taking video. You can also switch between the lenses, but on the Xiaomi, once you press record, you're stuck on that lens. Zooming in and out is also a little bit of an issue. You have to pinch the screen. It's just not that convenient. That's definitely something that I would want Xiaomi to look at just to give us a better experience when shooting video. But that's something that can easily be done in a software update, so I hope Xiaomi do that in time. The selfie camera needs to up its game when it comes to stabilization. It just doesn't compare to any of the other phones that I've put it up against. Again, this is something that could be fixed in the software. So again, I'm looking for Xiaomi to give us that update. When it comes to the hardware though, there are so many things that Xiaomi have added to really put the phone up into that flagship category. The stereo speakers are absolutely amazing. You have two dedicated huge speaker boxes at the top and bottom. For me, if you're watching videos, it just completely changes the experience. The haptics have also taken a big step up. Xiaomi are using an inline stepping motor. The haptics are extremely clicky and very similar to what you get on the iPhone. I'd say the iPhones are just a little bit stronger, but for me, the haptics have taken a huge step forward from other Xiaomi phones, are amongst the best that I've used. Xiaomi also recently added something called Mi Share, which is in association with the Oppo, Vivo brands. This works a lot like AirDrop, so if you have any of those branded phones, you can very quickly and easily share images and videos amongst those phones, and the data transfer rates are way quicker than Bluetooth. So Xiaomi have increased the price on the Mi 10 Pro over the Mi 9 by quite a fair whack, but they've given us a lot of different hardware options because of that. We've got some unique camera hardware, and the internals like speakers, haptics, and charging specs have all taken big leaps forward and compete more or less with flagship phones. This product still hasn't strayed too far from Xiaomi's mission of just giving good products at slightly cheaper prices than the competition. It is still cheaper than those real flagship phones, and definitely Xiaomi have given us a ton of hardware improvements in the Mi 10 Pro. Subscribe for all the latest tech news and videos. That's it for now, but I'll see you in the next one.